Everybody who knows anything about YouTube keeps telling me the videos that do best are the ones that splutter with indignation and rage, riling up the viewer at some outrage by their political opponents. But no, let's do something different. Let's be positive. And to be honest, for those of us on the left, positive news has been thin on the ground over the last few years. So why, as a lefty, am I feeling more chipper than I've done for a long time? Well, firstly, there's this. Yes, despite the BBC, Sky News, and the full weight of a right-wing dominated newspaper industry unrelentingly supporting and promoting Reform UK, they lost to a left-of-centre party. And just to brighten my day even more, the pound shop Farage, Keir Starmer, was totally humiliated with Labour pushed into third place. So, yay! Then there's this. Dublin's Corbyn wins by landslide. Dublin's Corbyn, Catherine Connolly, pledges to unite Ireland, far-left radical who called Hamas part of the fabric of the Palestinian people, claims landslide win in presidential election. And you just know when you see this kind of headline in the vile Daily Mail, then Catherine Connolly must be one of the good ones. And if you'd like some context for that quote used by the Daily Mail,
I come from Ireland, a history of colonisation, and I would be very wary of telling a sovereign people how to run their country. The Palestinians must decide in a democratic way who they want to lead their country.
But after what happened on October the 7th, you think Hamas can have a role?
What happened on October the 7th, I'm on record for condemning. But history did not start on October the 7th.
Of course not.
Well, it's important to point that out and to look back on the history and the many, many atrocities committed by the Israeli government through their army. And so I don't think Keir Starmer should have any say about Hamas. It's up to the Palestinian people. What Keir Starmer and other countries should be doing is stopping the genocide, absolutely calling out what it is, genocide, and using our voices to stop it.
I'm asking you this morning why you would say Hamas is part of the fabric of the Palestinian people.
I'll try and answer that for you as best I can. They were elected by the people the last time there was an election, overwhelming support for them back in 2006 or 7. And they are part of the civil society of Palestine. We are reliant on them for figures in relation to the deaths.
Do you regard them as a terrorist organisation?
They are prescribed as a terrorist organisation.
Do you accept that? Do you agree with that designation?
That's the designation. Israel is acting as a terrorist state. Both have to sit down at some stage. I mean, let's look at what Israel are doing and call it out for what it is. They're absolutely out of control.
And so, once again, yay! And continuing with our reasons to be cheerful, there's this guy.
There is something special in this room tonight. Power. It's the power of hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers united to fundamentally reimagine what is possible in New York City. Now, there are some who oppose that vision. Billionaires have poured millions of dollars into this race because they say that we pose an existential threat. And I am here to admit something. They are right. We are an existential threat to billionaires who think their money can buy our democracy. We are an existential threat to a broken status quo that buries the voices of working people beneath corporations. And we are an existential threat to a New York where a hard day's work isn't enough to earn you a good night's rest. This is not a moment for capitulation. We are in a period of political darkness. Donald Trump and his ICE agents are snatching our immigrant neighbors from our city in broad daylight, right before our eyes. His authoritarian administration is waging a scorched earth campaign of retribution against any who dared oppose them. against the courts that dare hold them accountable, and against our trans and queer neighbors for simply daring to be themselves.
And yet again, yay. This was Fox News' attempt to damage his campaign by listing his shock horror socialist promises. For some strange reason, it actually seemed to boost his popularity with New Yorkers. Then, next in our reasons for lefties to be cheerful is this guy, only 1% behind Labour. And of course, when it comes to reasons to be cheerful, we have to mention Jeremy and Zara's Your Party. The birthing of a genuinely democratic, brand new political party was never going to be straightforward. But looking to the future, Your Party might actually be the brightest spot on the horizon. For the first time, we might have a party with socialism at its core, its defining principle, and something that we can actually vote for on the ballot paper. We on the left should be smiling this week, despite the efforts of both the broadcast and print media to delegitimise anyone and everyone and everything on the left. We can still get our message out there and win over voters. From Wales to Ireland to New York, there's an appetite for the genuine radical change we can offer. Here in the UK, we can defeat Nigel Farage, despite the BBC and other media outlets' determination to promote him and his party by whipping up anti-immigration hysteria at every opportunity. There are millions of people across this country who wholeheartedly reject the far-right ideology of Farage and Reform UK. And by the same token, they also now have to reject Stammer's Labour, which has morphed into a backstreet Farageist party adopting the same right-wing or racist tropes as Enoch Powell. Virtually all of us across the UK will have a vote come May, and it's incumbent on every one of us who considers ourselves even vaguely on the left to use it. We all want to stop reform, but Labour is not an alternative to reform. Stammer has made that perfectly clear. Many of us are no longer fooled by the lesser of two evils argument that Morgan McSweeney will no doubt make central to the upcoming Labour campaign come May. The "we might be bad, but the other lot are even worse" argument just won't cut it any longer. My advice is vote tactically for the left-wing candidate most likely to defeat the Reform, Labour, Tory uniparty. Candidates can vary in your area. It might be SNP, it might be Plaid Cymru, it might be Green, might be Scottish Green, might be Your Party or Independent. The old two-party first-past-the-post system just won't survive once voters make it clear we are no longer prepared to be corralled into voting for A or B. No matter how large the majority in terms of seats the winning party might have under first past the post, that victor will have no real democratic legitimacy if it's sitting on a tiny percentage of the vote. Once it's clear we have moved into a multi-party system, the institutions will be forced to change. What we need is proportional representation, which allows us to vote for our genuine party of choice and every vote really counting. Thanks very much for watching the video. Please support left-wing media across social media and chat again soon.